totally get it.
What is the most interesting thing you've read or seen this week?
Oh gosh. I don't even know. I actually have no idea.
I would say for
I guess,
me, oh, you can go
yeah,
first.
no, no. This is just like so random. But I again in the podcast, this is again super super not hockey related. Um, but there is this like shower head that you can like, I don't know if you ever like, but replace it. And it has like they've infused it with like vitamin C, and apparently it's because it's like our water like originally is like really dehydrating for like your hair and like your skin and things like that. So having a water or a shower head infused vitamin C thing is a lot better.
Oh, I've never
That is
heard that
one thing
before.
that I've read. Or I didn't either.
I don't know how you would like manage to get that fixed and stuff. It seems like a lot of money, so I have to save up for that if I had wanted one.
Yeah, doesn't seem easy.
For me, very hockey related. I just saw that Alex DeBrincat got traded to the Red Wings, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And we'll see how the Detroit does because I know they're trying to get out of that rebuild, and I think DeBrincat would definitely help out with that.
Yeah. Geez.
Now, one more non-hockey question is if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Oh god. Again, my teammates are gonna hate me, but I'm just too obsessed with it. Her name's Lauren Bostick, and she is the podcast host of Skinny Confidential. But again, I'm literally obsessed. I love probably listen to every single one. But I would have lunch with her just because she is a practitioner of health and wellness. Like it's crazy.
Well, there's probably no chance that she's listening to this podcast, but if she happens to be a huge college hockey fan, Mariah would be a great guest on your podcast. So reach out.
Yes.
Getting back to some hockey questions now, though. I call it the final two or three questions I sort of ask
Yeah.
everybody, but if they're all the younger players that are listening to this podcast, sort of what advice would you give them on what it takes to be a college hockey player? I know you said when you got to Princeton, one of the things that sort of took you by surprise was being sort of a role model for those younger people that went to your games. So I'm curious what advice you give them on what it takes to sort of be in your shoes one day, and sort of what you have to do is to sort of get there.
Yes. So my biggest thing I would say is just to keep at it. Again, I really learned this over my gap year. Just waiting, which again, I don't think, and I hope that sort of thing doesn't happen again. But just experiencing that. And again, like when I was younger, just the travel like all the time, it got really long, but to just, keep at it. And like you'll get somewhere, like you'll get it if you just keep with it, like do not give up. And I know that is cliche, um but just that it's like, yes, it's so mundane sometimes, like it's just so routine sometimes, but like routine, it will get you there.
What should be done to help grow women's hockey from your perspective?
um I think like because I know like the rivalry series have been doing things in certain cities. I think things like that, like especially like for example, Nashville is a great example of, just some people really spearheading girls hockey, and really pushing and making initiatives for girls hockey. So I think just having certain people do that in big cities, small cities, but just like really taking that initiative, just start it, and get people even just like to see it, or to try getting on skates. So I think that is just a huge thing, is just at least getting it out there, because even right now, like you really like even for college, like you can only look in the Midwest or the East Coast for things. So, even starting girls hockey younger in more, areas would be beneficial.
The fact that they don't have any West Coast hockey baffles me.
Mhm.
Frankly, it's a little disappointing. So I'm sort of calling out USC and UCLA to get hockey programs at some point because I want
I
to see
know.
California college hockey. It's a joke that they don't have it. I know they have
Yeah.
the money to make it too. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I sort of agree with you. I think my thing is honestly just being creative. I feel like women's
Mm.
college hockey does the same thing every year. Like we have to have the Frozen Four this weekend. We have to only have it in certain places. Only these teams can play particular teams. There's not a lot of room for other non-conference games. And I think sort of being creative and trying different non-conference games, like maybe doing a ECAC versus Hockey East challenge. I think that would be a lot of fun to watch, where teams who normally don't get to play each other can have a team to look forward to that they don't get to play every year. Having the Frozen Four maybe in an
Yeah.
AHL or NHL rink and not putting it in Minnesota Duluth where it's harder for people to get to from mainstream
Mhm.
cities. I think stuff like that is what the sport really needs to try to do. And will they ever do it? I don't know, but I'm here if they need any
Yeah.
suggestions. But that's sort of
Yeah,
what I think the
seriously.
sport needs to do.
Yeah, I really like that idea because that's just like, Canada, US playing in other areas, but every single year you can get college girls, to that you can really relate to as well in different areas. I really like that.
Yeah, I just think they need to put the Frozen Four, I guess, have its own weekend. I guess because at least with
Mhm.
the men's Frozen Four, they have their own weekend, and I think it's sort of how I got into college hockey was because ESPN sort of broadcasted it around it. And I don't
Yeah.
know how you would do it for the women's game. Maybe like put it that weekend of the women's Final Four and sort of
Mhm.
market it with it, and so
Yeah.
you get some casual viewers that way. Because I just
Yeah.
feel like starting the season in September for some schools and having it end in mid-March, it's sort of like by the time February comes around and it's sort of the home stretch for a lot of teams,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, the season's over in 2 weeks. And it doesn't, I personally don't like how that is structured sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now, one other question I want to ask you is
Mhm.
what was it like to play under Coach Maury, and what is she like as a coach, both on and off the ice? Because for your senior game, it seemed like everyone had a lot of nice things to say about her.
Yeah. So she has been the most consistent coach, like since she's been here since our freshman year, obviously, and is now there for like our senior night and things like that. She definitely pushes you a lot. She loves her fitness, especially fitness tests, things like that off the ice. She just genuinely, like, she does really, really care about everyone in the sense that we are just like her kids, just like her family. Like she spends a lot of time with us and she really just does want the best for us. And you can really see that um, just through her like want and drive for us to do better, for the team to do better, um, on and off the ice as well. So yeah.
Now, one more question before we end this interview. Any shout outs you
Yeah.
want to give to any of your teammates, former teammates, family members, friends, anyone in particular? Feel free to give them a shout out. And who should we have on the podcast next?
Oh gosh. Um, well, I definitely have to shout out my class, my senior gals plus Sarah, of course. But um, so I love them, miss them a lot. And then of course I have to shout out Nina since she already came up, but she's unreal. And then of course my brother. And you should definitely try to have him on the podcast. He's very, very shy. Very opposite of me, but he's awesome. And then I don't know if you have had Nina on yet, but you should definitely get her on. She is a hoot. Um, and then Maggie, I think Maggie would do it too.
Yeah, we've had Maggie on a couple of
She's
years
awesome
ago. It
as
was
well. And she's also, oh, you did.
yes, back in 2020.
Okay,
It
good.
was a long time ago, but we should have her back on because obviously she has done a lot of stuff since we last interviewed her.
Yeah. Yeah, a ton. Yeah, you should definitely get her back on because she's also looking to play professionally as well. So you should definitely reach out to her. But yeah, that's all I have for now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mariah, for coming on the pod. I appreciate it. I wish you nothing but the best for your future endeavors. And
Thank you.
obviously, great player, great person, and I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you.